go on. You know, me and good old manager, fucking the captain himself, we, well, just a couple of dirty old granddads, or granddad and fucking Peanut. You thought Peanut was bad? Come meet Grandad. The manager who put this thing together, he did. That's who. Who does he trust? Fucking Keith, that's who. And admittedly, he did turn to me and he said, I do trust you. He didn't say, I trust you. I think he said, I trust you, mate. I'd love to believe. What I love about most off about Keith Richards, and this is why I love him, and it's fucking like, he's basically me. Instead of fucking developing in the throatal area, he just did it with his hands, with guitar. He did what I wished I could have done. That was the only thing I was more jealous of anything, because I think it was like I could see how similar I was, and I was just really jealous of the fact he was mint at guitar, and I was not. I'd love to say it's equal. He was really jealous of the fact I was really good at singing, like as in just making it loud. Together we would have made a sick, what we do now. This is the best fucking team ever. It's like talking to myself, but he's older and wiser. It's mint. It's like everything I wanted to hear, reconfirmed. I mean, like, we back each other to fuck. Like, to the point where I was like, mate, I just gave him examples. I've been his wingman here, there and everywhere because he'd done this much for me. And I said, well, look, this is my thank you to you for the fact that you had years of abuse from fucking Mick Jagger, basically constantly trying to put you down, to the point where I saw it in an interview the other day where Keith's the only one who can talk about the fact that he got the Rolling Stones off a Muddy Waters album. He can name you exactly what number of the track it was on, the reason why it grabbed his attention to get that album and listen to that song and name the band that. Really, you can tell it's a subject. He cons. This is the fucking sick thing about Mick Jagger and paedophiles, is that they pit basically that one man who is on your side against you. That one man who is actually more like you than any of them, in the sense of he gets fooled just as much as you do, in the same way where they go, oh, and they say the right things to just clip you off, set you off on one and get you going, and off you go, and you start talking away so we can look at the camera in a group and say, look how fucking basically special needs he is. It's lucky he's got a good friend like Mick who basically cares for him through life and allowed him to fuck off. Keith did that all off his own back. He carried you through life. He protected you like a big brother, and you know it, because of the fact that you didn't mention that Keith was there. It was the most rebellious time in my life. Somebody said this, Mick said this. Why did Mick say that? Because Keith was there that night. I don't mention Keith once in that fucking interview. Once. It's like he's not even there. And it's like, but mate, that's the reason why Mick had the balls to say something back to him in the first place. Because Keith was there. If it wasn't going to be Mick saying it, Keith would have said it himself in a better way. And he even fucked up that line. It's not even that great. Bar shitter than what Keith would have used. He would have said, well, fuck you, basically. Fuck you. You want to fuck with me? I've fucking been abused. I've fucking done this. I've had a prison sentence. Who the fuck are you to make out I'm some fucking, somebody you can fucking belittle? You kike. Naturally, so I showed him, look, these are the examples where I'm talking to fine ladies, not off my own back. They're actually talking to me. They're really beautiful, fine ladies, naturally. And it makes it really great. We're like a really horny couple of old rockers who literally get really hot ladies on our side, that we're just left, right and centred with really hot, beautiful girls. Because basically there's not many of us left anymore. You know, it's unfortunate, but it's a sad truth. There's not many like us in the world anymore. You know, treasure the times with us when you have them. Is what he means. You're not going to say that bit. I would message you back, Lewis Bird. That's another one. Yes, I love Lou. I think he's a great guy. Really bonded with him. Really learned to love him in the mental home. Jesus, I've had enough of him. Why? Because I know that he's not... it's like he's in child mode. I've told him everything I've said. Mate, you just need to... You remind me of myself a lot. You just need to do what I did at 18 and fucking get some space away from your parents, basically, because your dad's wanting you to do a job which you obviously don't want to do, and that's bringing you depression because you don't like the way he treated your mum. Guaranteed he's got a new woman now, and that really hurt his feelings because he was his mummy's little boy. His mum overdotes him because of the fact that he felt for her and loved her and just let her take him into being mummy's little boy to the point of she overdoted him, sheltered him, yeah, bringing on the other one, overdoted him, sheltered him to the point where it just rubs off on everybody in society in the sense of like the way, and he's not that guy. He's not the kind of person who goes around going, I'm better than you, or even says things to make you feel like Mick Jagger would, to like inadvertently try and make out he's better than you. No, he makes you feel great. He makes you feel welcome. He treats you as an equal. But people don't treat him as an equal, basically, because they just see this pampered little boy that mummy is over fucking protected, overdoted, and they hate that side in him. Because he just obviously just says the wrong thing, or just don't know. I don't think it's anything on him at all. I think it's like, he's lovely, wanted to talk to him all the time. It was not me ringing him, as you can see. You've just seen that. I wasn't lying. It just came through on the other device. He's ringing me. I'm not ringing him because we got along that well. Yes, fucking bonded. Really did. Really good friends, and it really meant something. You go and speak to him. I would love to still speak to him. You got his mum, basically, who's listening to everything you're fucking saying. Like as if she's horny for you and she just wants to bollock you inadvertently. She doesn't come onto the screen and say, I've had enough. She like bollocks him so you can just hear she's really angry. I'm going, what? Whoa. And in the end, it's like, just fuck off. I'm not here to have some fucking middle-aged woman bollock me every fucking day, every time I speak to somebody who's meant to be my mate, after I've told them every bit of advice I could. Just fuck off. You can always come here. Fuck off out of that fucking place. Fucking just do whatever you can. Get a group of friends that are going around uni or something. That would be the best thing you could do, Lewis Bird, because you love taking drugs, mate. You might as well just meet up with a few friends around uni. A good place to meet friends, and that is, before Martin Smith bastardised it, was the SWP. Martin Smith bastardised the SWP by raping somebody. This was meant to be the Socialist Workers' Party. He's never gone to court for it. He's now, at one point, he was educating himself in the University of Liverpool after he raped this lady. And she was lower down in the groups and a lady on her own. That's how he got to her. That's how he raped her, groomed her into thinking, the SWP, just like the rest of us, this is for the people, like Joe Strummer believed. And he then used that against her and raped her. Like, not just rape as in, I mean, I was horny for you and I raped you and it was like she loved it, that we married afterwards. Not that kind of rape, as in she did not want it. She felt completely abused, let down by everybody, and she tried to tell them, this is what's happened. And they just ignored it in front of her face. They didn't say it in front of her, oh yeah, that's terrible, and then all behind her back after she'd said what she'd said to people to their face. They go, no. Basically became rape deniers. Jeff, who really sold the SWP to me, sorted me loads of fags every time I needed a fag, more than I wanted, to the point of I can see right through it now. They overgive you stuff to make it look like they're really giving, but it's just gifts. It's not like giving you something that you can take with you for life. It's just, here you go, have a fag for the moment, a time. It's very That's what really let me down more than anybody. The SWP should have been the best fucking party there was. As in, it's the socialist worker party, it's the most left-wing party there is. As in, it's for everybody, works with the Kurdish community, so they should have celebrated that. They didn't. They fucking shat all over this Kurdish community centre. They didn't tidy up after themselves, ever. I had to see this bloke every morning tidy up by himself. And I always said hello to him. And then when they were fucking around the last night, fuck, mate. It's like I knew what was going to happen before it happened. I was like, now this lady's going to act, basically. It was all fucking acting anyway. They were all acting. She acted like she was dying and was really convincing at it that a fella realised, fuck, basically in that moment realised, oh, I have to show her love to bring her back to life again. Oh, great, and all of this. And then it's like, they go to sleep on their floors, and you got the one man on his own cleaning up after them. I walked up to him straight away and I said, mate, he loved it. I said, mate, tell you the truth, you've got it all on the camera. They had a fight last night. Any decent, whether the SWP, they haven't mentioned your cause once in any of their meetings. It's like they don't give a shit. I learned that it was Abdullah. That's how I learned about Abdullah Öcalan, because I thought, fucking hell, they don't give a shit about the one thing that they were trying to promote for using their Kurdish community centre for free. Yes, use this for free, but please bring this to light about Abdullah Öcalan. Went on about their fucking cause, which I thought was shite. Tried to get me to go, Ryan Allen did as well, tried to get me to go fucking giving. I just thought, why do I want to waste people's time when they've got jobs to do, they've got things to do important in society? Why do I want to bother them, stop them in their tracks, thinking that I've got something better to say when they've got kids to fucking feed and the rest? That's the main essential one. They've got kids to feed, they've got fucking money to make for those kids to be fed. Why the fuck would I get in the way of that, thinking that I can just literally fucking give you a load of bullshit for you to be interested in what I said? During like Russia, fuck that, I went to Camden. Even Ryan Allen came with me because, and he just took the piss out of it. He always went on about this story about how basically, oh, remember that guy? I thought it was a really nice picture this guy drew me, and he had severe mental difficulties. He's severely disabled. Ryan didn't take the piss out of him once to his face. He let me talk to him, and I spoke with him well. And then the rest of my time chilling with Ryan, he just kept bringing up the fact that this guy had mental difficulties. Basically, he was jealous of the relationship me and this bloke had. And he just wanted to belittle me with it. So then I looked like the cunt who's bullied somebody with mental difficulties with him. When I was going out my way to talk to this guy, it was like, tell you the truth, relief. I'm not with that kike who's constantly asking for different fucking things, whatever he says, like a fucking 2-year-old kid. I didn't have that much money. I'd bucking, he's like, can I have this, can I have this? I haven't eaten any food, Sam, can I have some cake? But mate, why are you having cake at lunchtime? We're meant to be going here to take drugs. Meant to be rock and roll. Why are you having cake at lunchtime? That's what fucking families do. You kike. It's like fucking Paul McCartney with When They Were New. And fucking Jesus. Mick Jagger with all of his shit. All of his suggestions. All of his shitty disco music. All of his ventures. The fact that he killed off one of his wives is not enough mentioned. Jerry Hall's had enough of him. Jerry Hall was mint. Loved Jerry Hall, thought she was sick, not to mention Marianne Faithfull. And that's what really hurt Marianne Faithfull. She was thinking, I'm not marrying that paedophile kike. Why? Because all those fucking ladies that he will become ladies will remind me of me, that I'll love them. And he's raping people like that, pretending that I'm his wife. Fuck off, you kike. It was like the ultimate disparagement. That what this really beautiful trophy wife, basically, who they grew up kind of together, they were meant to be, just fucked him off, rather take drugs for the rest of her life. I'd get fucked by Keith. And then came back, nothing to do with it. Sorry, said all this. I don't know, I've just given you a backstory on how fucking fickle they were, how fucking lack of care they had. It was just appalling. I went there more than anyone. The one person who I took the piss out of, but that's because I was fucking coming up on acid, and it was just hilarious. It was like, oh my God, he actually looks like something out of Star Wars here. Like, that's not because of the acid trip. That's because he just looked like somebody out of Star Wars. That wasn't good. He just looked like something out of Star Wars. It was like, oh my God, this is hilarious. The acid's not even kicking in yet, and I'm laughing at my head at this guy who just looks like a character from fucking, or Jim Bent. It was just like, whoa, this looks surreal in itself. This bloke's a very peculiar looking bloke. Probably because he wasn't a bloke. He was a paedophile. I'd never seen anybody like it in my life. And Ryan's trying to say, oh, don't take the piss out of him, when he goes out of his way to take the piss out of the one which that paedophile Gary T would have abused to make him that mentally ill in society. I still have the picture at one point of what he drew to me. Yeah, okay, it might look like a kid's drawing, but to me, that really fucking meant something. Why? Because it was from his personal collection. It was like one of his own fucking personal art pieces. That's how much this meeting meant. And Ryan just shat on it. And the first time I've ever really voiced, you know, like Keith when he finally voices it. First time, it's like a relief. It's like, fucking hell. I didn't realise how abusively horrible that situation was. To continue having that kike as a friend was just disgusting. And it was just, I was used to abuse from the bitch that bore me, and sadly Tone, because he was used to abuse. I went, after getting abused by them, fell into immediate another somebody who could abuse me. And just stayed with this one friend. Lost all my other friends from Telford because I was still friends with this paedophile, basically, as he continued to just disparage now both of our reputations, just like Mick fucking did with Keith. The point where you become a laughing stock and he's just fucking, he's meant to be this cool, scary guy, Ryan, because he's like the leader of the group. It's like, no, he was never the leader of the group. He was the one we all felt sorry for. Yeah, we all felt sorry for him, basically, Ryan Allen. Because, he was called Ryan Archibald Allen. That can't be easy. He was poor as fuck. He really was on the breadline in Telford. I first met him, he lived with his granddad. His granddad kicked him out every morning. His granddad would work. His granddad was the only shit guy in Brian's life. Tell you the truth, that was the only bit which was great with Brian, was just knowing about his granddad existing. Because his granddad sounded mint, sounded like he got Ryan right under the thumb. Until Ryan split away from that. He used to kick him out every morning. So he knew that he was going to do something, hopefully in education. That's what prompted Ryan, because he constantly fucked up education, because he was more concentrating on raping children. Even though he had the gift of the gaff, he was really, literally, he got like, I think GCSE-wise, he got like A's and shit. Really gifted student. When I first met him, I was in awe of him because of the fact that fucking he used all these big words, and then it kind of came into the fact that we all just felt sorry for him, and we'd always have him tag along because he obviously had it hard. But to then just throw it in all of our faces back at us, start getting me to insult Sarah. It was like, yeah, okay, Sarah looked like that, Ryan, but that's because everybody looked like that, and fucking Sarah was hard. And she was really fine. I really looked at all the girls in college. Sarah Cutler was the one I was horny for the most. Gary Speed, like, I saw her, gutted Tom Ledger was going out with her, never knew that she fucking hated Tom Ledger and what he'd done to her, and I could have rogered her anyway, could have rogered her that very night where I was obsessed with her, in front of him. It would have been hilarious. What a missed opportunity. Sorry, Sarah. And she was mint, she was just like controlled every time she was in the group, to the point of that she made me feel sorry for Duncan, because she bollocked him more than anybody, because she knew he's going to be homophobic, he's going to be insecure, he's not going to get along with somebody who should be his best friend here. And so she made a personal effort, never knew this till now, to just bollock him in front of me. She didn't really care, it was only a bit of backy, but she knew that would upset and hurt my feelings enough to think he didn't deserve to get bollocked by the coolest girl in college. And it was just obvious in that moment. She was the coolest girl in college and he was the loser. I think that's why that happened as well. On top of her teaching me to be his friend, on top of all these great things that happened in that moment, she needed it to just remind herself she is the coolest girl in college. She did have the gift of the gab. Everybody followed her fucking leading. She could fuck whoever she wanted. They're all horny for Sarah Cutler. She had like all the cool boyfriends sort of girl. Tom Ledger was the cool geezer until he got rapey with her, to the point where she fucked Elliot Overton multiple times for him to like basically, this is how you make love with a fine way. That you even have Duncan in the room to make sure that she feels safe and that he's laughing about it the whole time. You know, she feels great. She feels comforted. She feels safe while she's being fucked with. And yeah, I've lost all those friends, thanks to that one paedophile. And they were really good friends. Aidan Dodd was sick. His girlfriend Brenda was fucking legendary. Hazel Boyd was an absolute legend. I loved Hazel Boyd. She was a really fine lady. She was the other one I was really horny for. And she never knew that, because everybody made Hazel girl, look at Hazel Boyd, feel fucking bad for the fact she was a little bit fat. It was like, she had really fine babs, really beautiful face. She was really funny. She had a brilliant sense of humour. What made it more for me was that she taught me more about Bob Dylan at the time. He was my hero. And I, in honour to her, I brought that album straight off the cuff after sessioning with her and her telling me that this is actually the name I was named after, Hazel, is from the Bob Dylan song album, with the wedding album, Dirge and that. I brought that album immediately. I never heard of it. No, I could have heard it a bit because I did have the Bob Dylan book. That's what made me have this existential knowledge of Bob Dylan, is that I had $17.99. I didn't have much as gifts. I really wanted to get a PS1 game, but I just knew that wasn't a good idea, because this could really fucking stand the test of time, especially as at a discount price like $17.99, compared to the fact that it was been like 30 quid. And I think I had 20 quid, so I would have 3 quid over. I wouldn't be able to get a game with that, but I could fucking get some sweets or something. I brought that. That was genius. Like the best fucking thing I could have brought. It just had a big array of just words. Just a book of great words written by somebody who was a brilliant wordsmith. Besides all his paedophiliating acts, he was a brilliant wordsmith. From everything he was inspired by, and just the cultures of America is very exciting. It's very big. It's very like wow. And for us Britons as well, we were like little hobbits compared to you guys. It's like, whoa, what's this all about? Fucking hell, that's sick. That's why a lot of Britons just fuck off to America. Tell you the truth, a lot of the world fucks off to America. And then we all turn around and go, America this, America that, Britney this, Britney that, fucking all of that. It's like, no, America was sick until Donald Trump and fucking Barack Obama came along. America was mint. No, all Barack has to do, he is a decent guy. You can tell he's a family man with a fine lady wife, and he loves his kids. You can see it. He just had to give credit where fucking credit was due to his grandparents who were white. All he had to do. Fuck all that law. Fuck all, it wasn't, and Barack, I had to slate you to give you back some fucking strength of this is how much it angered me. You know, these people might pretend to be all like this, that, and the other, but this is how much you angered just one person from the Joe public because of you. I wanted to believe in you more than anybody, and then I just saw your fucking display, and it was like, I can see now, after just releasing all that abuse which I'd suffered myself, I can see now you were just as abused. You were an African man. Besides, I said, yeah, you raised by white, but you were still Barack, and you were an African American. It was just like, yeah, you were still Barack. You were still an African American. Yeah, these people are white, but that doesn't make you white for saying that I love these two people, and these two people and my mummy mean the world to me. No, that just makes you more of a black man than that fucking nigger ever was. One that's proud to be, and to give credit where credit was due to the people who deserved it. That's how black you were, proud about it. And I can see you were just abused. You were made to, I've got to wear this suit. I've got to look like this. I've got to say these kinds of things. I've got to know about all this history and bollocks. It's like, no, that's not what you were bringing to the table, mate. Yeah, okay, you've got to learn about history so you don't make the same mistake over and over again. Morty from the layer cake, that's the only decent line I ever liked from the layer cake. Just that line. That's meant like Morty or like Cole. Rest was shite, in my opinion. I love Pierce Brosnan. He was the people's Bond. He was that Bond which took ages to get into Bond. As in, he should have been given it when Timothy Dalton got given it. Everybody wanted him to be Bond. The people were shouting for him to be Bond. So that made him delay him being Bond, which made everybody feel like, just made everybody question it, mate, and lose faith in Bond. So Bond became really unpopular. Because what they were trying to do was make the people, but when the people stand together, they can all see, plain as day, nah, you're just standing against us and fucking us on our decision. We wanted Pierce fucking Brosnan. You gave fucking Timothy Dalton, ruined Timothy Dalton's career. Hot Fuzz had to try and save it, and he is funny in that. I guess for all those fuck-ups, it was brilliant, his performance in Hot Fuzz, because I love the Hot Fuzzes. Like I said, I love the Cornetto trilogy. I thought they were mint. Oh God, I hate it when you know, it's like, mate, you've got this point, and then you go, oh, I'm going to start going into that. It's like, there's this like little moment in my head which goes, don't start going into the fact that you love the Cornetto. They know about that. But because I've then suddenly gone into that detail, but all of what I've said before just goes out the window. And you're like, where the fuck was I? Are these hands? You know what I mean? It's Jesus. I'm sweating like a rapist. Initial points. Barack Obama. Yeah, you're indoctrined into and then when he finally got given Bond, both, he nailed it. It was like, we were fucking buzzing. All right, they made a shitty one with GoldenEye. It still sold a lot, but Tomorrow Never Dies. That was the one. And that was the one the people were conned. It's like, you forget, paedophiles never stop. So they're going to come up with another scheme or another way to fuck over what you thought was great. You, the people, thought he was great for Bond. So So what do? They get James Cameron to release Titanic a bit earlier than he should have. He said I hadn't finished. That's why it's really obvious CGI, even looking back, well, especially looking back now, but even when you saw it then, you could really see dodgy fucking dolphins, the bits of the boat looked dodgy. That he was saying, no. I was waiting till 1999 for the Titanic to come out. 99 was his plan, because he literally was that dedicated into it, like he did with Avatar. That's why he was so into getting Avatar out, because he wanted to show, this is the amount of detail I wanted to give to the Titanic if they had to push my deadline fucking earlier. And why did they push his deadline earlier? Because of the fact that fucking hell, they wanted to fuck your decision with the fact that you picked Pierce Brosnan to be Tomorrow Never Dies. Best title ever. It was the best fucking one. It was literally, I want to pop it on now. I was buzzing, like I thought, fucking hell, all these, I was like, have you got Pat Garrett? But such a Keith Richards. But when I've gone into somewhere and I thought, I like games now. I go into this place and there's two children there and a mummy. And I thought, and I followed them in as well, because I just wanted to, look, I love games. And I thought, I better show to these people, I'm not a paedophile, I love games. I talked to this one guy who looked really suspiciously like a paedophile into the shop, because it was Josh's older brother, Max. And he just does not think about what he should do to, he's not a paedophile, he's just really into his shit, like, which just comes over as sad to others, but it makes him look like a fucking paedophile, and he ends up at times in the day thinking, oh yeah, this is the best time to go, when it's just him and a family. So it's like, oh God, Max, you're not doing yourself favours there. Sort that fucking hair out, mate. Don't just not have faith in yourself because you're Max fucking Snell. That meant something. Meant something to my sister anyway. She came up with this great story, and love Max Snell. Why? Because she came up with this story and she said, you know what, Thomas, Thomas Vaughan, the brother of Helena Vaughan, 3 unsung heroes, James Fisher, I loved them. They were my favourite fucking lads in my sister's year. Why? Because there were 3 fucking loners who everybody bullied more than anybody, and they never had any self-worth in themselves. Ever. They never thought, actually, we are the ones nobody bullies, to the point where we created a group of friends amongst ourselves, and nobody fucking fucks with us. The point, I came along off my sister's back, and I was the first fucking lad to go up to him and just talk to him and be nice to him. As in, all right, mate, as if they were like my heroes. They found it hilarious. Because they were my heroes. They was 3 lads against all odds, and people just shat on them, thought this of them, that of them and the other. Never got the girls at the fucking, never got invited by the girls to anything, never fucking anything. Everybody bullied, everybody. They were the fucking hardest 3 lads, I guarantee you. Now they have their self-worth. Those were the 3 hardest lads, apart from Aaron Whittaker, because Aaron Whittaker was off on his own plane. And Sam Card was as well. Apart from Sam Card and Aaron Whittaker, those were the 3 hardest lads in my sister's year. Without a shadow of a doubt. I can't think of, and Andrew Edwards, sorry. Those were the 4 fucking, now Andrew Edwards, Sam Card, Aaron Whittaker's were just leagues of their own. We've all gone into that. Andrew, same reason as these boys. Well, Sam Card and all of them. Sam Card was the same. Big ginger lad. Everybody bullied Sam Card. He was the older brother of Jack. This is why he was so nasty to Jack, because he thought, if I'm nastier to Jack than anybody else, nobody will fuck with Jack. Because that's how nasty they were to Sam. And it was just brilliant that Sam Card got bigger than everybody else. And I was there to see it, because I just hit school when he was in year 9 now. They were all in year 11. He fucking shadowed them, as in, like, he towered over them. And nobody said a thing anymore to him, as he stood there in his fucking Rockport and always stared at them. Like, which quietened them down. Used to make them go quiet. Because deep down, they were used to bullying him when he entered the fucking food hall. And now it was just a chain. Sam shot up. It was great. Hope him and his brother start loving each other again, because they were mint, both his brothers. Both the Card brothers were sick. Loved the Card brothers. Thomas Vaughan. I think it could have been Thomas Vaughan. I'd like to say it was Max Snell. Max Snell was the one who, Max Snell that was his todger. And he grabbed this chicken nugget. Anna said it didn't happen, but she just thought it would have been great if these guys, these three lads, because she could just see my sense of humour as well, if they'd have just thought, you know what, fuck it, we are the butt of the jokes. Let's come up with one fresh for them to fucking laugh at then. Grabbed this fucking chicken fucking drummer and he took a bite from it. And he went, my name's Thomas. No, Max said it. Max said it. He goes, he is Thomas. No, I love Thomas and this is his penis. It was hilarious. I was like, that guy's hilarious. That's brilliant. What a fucking sense of humour. She came up with it off her own back so I'd support these three lads who got bullied more than anybody. A clever sister, my sister. I say this about her and I say that. Now, my sister, I was lucky, Brittany. That was the one thing I had on you, basically. You had a younger sister who was nastier than you. At the same time, you were really lovely baps, really lovely booty. I don't. I've got a very thin ass. You know what I mean? It's very thin. It's very little. I've got a tiny todger. I'm flat-chested to fuck. I don't see how when I smile at a man that he fucking is amazed by the sight of me. It's just a shame it's not the same with the ladies. They just think I'm rapey as fuck. But I had an older sister, basically, Brittany. I had an older sister, Anna Kramer. She was another unsung hero. I mean, just to come up with that off her own back as a lie, to make me respect the. She knew how much of an impact it had. She loved me more than anybody. I never understood my self-worth. She really knew and understood it because she'd experienced it the first time when I was born. She was very bullied when she was a kid. The reason why my sister loved me, and that's why I used to always go on about how much I love my sister to you, Laura. Almost like, basically, I want you to know that this person deserves to be respected, is what I was trying to say. I wasn't trying to make out that I loved her to make you feel bad about yourself. Or like try and belittle you, like, I love my sister, no one can get in the way of this. No, I love my sister. I wanted you to know how great she was because she was the one who, she saw how much I loved you. She knew that I wasn't admitting that I loved you. One day, she just came back and she'd be, why did she know this, Laura? Well, whatever you felt of Anna, this was Anna for you. She saw you in brownies and she saw how sad you were. And she knew deep down the bitch that bore me was like how she was, because, you know, you can't hide the truth. She knew the bitch that bore me was as jealous as fuck of you as anyone. This was what cursed her, basically. This is what made her the drone of the bitch that bore me, basically, because of the fact that she did this one act. Bitch that bore me got clever and really fucking sexually abused my sister after that. Boom, over. Different Anna. She saw you, mate, and sexually abused us both. Sexually abused me to sexually abuse her, and then make out that, oh, you were just, I mean, some of the lines, you just a bit of skirt. Oh, she's old enough to know better. She was 14, you fucking whore. They know what they're doing. No, they don't. They think they know what they're doing. Then they find out horribler and worser and the horrible reality of what they fucking let themselves into. That's not knowing what they're doing. That's being aware of the fact of what they're getting into, not knowing the fucking circumstance. Horrible fucking views. As you can hear, like Britney's fucking bitch, basically, just like her. Really good at looking like she's the one who's not the issue. It's the father here. There was a moment I hated on my father too, Brittany. He was the one I blamed because the bitch that bore me twisted it round that much that I thought it was Tone who was the bastard because he just blinkedly, like a stupid blinkered horse, because he loved her that much and wanted to show she's my wife, just fucking like ardently, more than anybody, aggressively, ardently, push forward her plans, that he was like basically her bulldog. She got wrapped round her little finger. Shit, that's my best lighter. Because of the picture. She saw you, Aura. She took one look at you. She saw how sad you were, basically, because of the fact that the bitch that bore me had made me feel shit about that fucking moment where I fell in love with you. From then on in, I just tried to ignore you. That she got this picture of you in the paper and she said, oh, it's Laura in the paper, that is. And then she just started ripping into you, saying stuff which I'd never heard anybody say about you before. And I fucking went nuts. Blah, 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 blah. How dare you say that she's really, 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 really smart and really, really, really strong and confident. She's really fucking lovely, strong lady. Brave as fuck and all of this. And then she just smiled. As to say, I got you, you dick. That's all I was doing it for. Because you love her. And you're trying to act like you don't. It was brilliant. She did it so well. She did it so subtly. You would have loved her for it. It was like something out of Dogger, the book Dogger, where she fucking goes out of her way to return the fucking dog for her. Beautiful. It's like, that was what made my sister somebody who I continued, because I just knew she did not deserve, and I couldn't say it. Didn't know how to begin to say all that. I did not know how to tell you that my sister was seriously sexually abused when she was a child. She did not deserve any of it. And I was trying to tell you how much I loved her, so you would all love her, hoping that she would be a friend of the family for you guys. Because I just knew that this is unfair, that I have such a great time, and she's back home getting bullied and abused further. She loved horses. She loved Linda. She loved you. She was brilliant. She was a brilliant big sister. Really honoured to have her as a big sister. That's what made me who I am today. More than anybody. Because she was there. Doing it. Saying the things. Doing the things. Teaching me those lessons when nobody else could. Because she was there with me at the time. She was the one who, when I went nuts at all these people in this drama group and I just looked like an absolute wanker, but I was thinking, I'm just going to leave this shite, it's fucking wank. Started great because it was like, it basically felt like a social club. Basically, you just go into this building with a room and you're with people who you find really funny and you just do whatever you want. Occasionally you get a script, start rehearsing it for a bit and then just carry on chin wagging and listening to Neil's great tales of fucking him bucking up science. It was big. Neil was sick. Like, we were gutted he went. Gave him a big hug when I saw him. It felt like a big brother rather than a fucking teacher or something. Like, just the way he kind of went into it, because it was like, oh shit, this person's left Jackson, who felt like the only one out of all of them who actually felt like a legitimate drama teacher, and the rest of them were just like, they just felt like they were your older brother or sister. Colette was hilarious. Neil was fucking just, and she left because she, you know, I think she went to uni, something like that. And Neil fucking carried it on, and it was mint. I went nuts at everybody. Neil wasn't in. As soon as that happened, there was other girl who joined, and she was from a posh school. She thought she was better than all of us, and I do believe now it's because she fancied me, so she kept fucking, and I was just getting really annoyed because I fancied Wara. And that used to piss me off as a kid when other girls used to come up to me and try and make out that we could have a thing for doing this, that and the other. And I just would Wara. Like, the more I was around that girl, I just wanted to be around Wara. But it was BRITNEY, because it is Laura, basically, just on a big stage. And I just like Lisa Everly, fucking really proper girl power, like the Powerpuff Girls or something. Well, look what they created for all of us, entertainment purposes. They were giving us anything off their own backs anyway. What they did for society, what they did for everybody. Laura's becoming a vet. BRITNEY did everything for us in the music industry. And Lisa Everly, we wouldn't have all these films. We wouldn't be under KRprodukkshunzSR now. I would have never bonded with Keith the way I have. Did I say that one joke where it's like, this is why me and Keith would have been terrible in a band together, because we would have like enjoyed our company with each other that much. We would have lost the love of our wives because we're constantly talking about different tunes together. And then we just buck loads of different girls together, and to the point where the girls really, oh my God, they just want to fuck each other basically. They're like coming at the sound of their own ideas coming together. Oh, that's a genius one. Oh, yes. That's why it would have been detrimental. We had to be kept at a distance. A couple of rapists like us. That'd be great if Keith could come down now. You're always welcome here. You own the fucking place, Keith. It's your fucking, it's just a little fucking cabin in your on your ship. So whenever you want to come down to the cabin and you know, play some fucking sick blues on your Black Pearl, that would be the sick thing. Special guest on your own fucking show. You know, that moment we've all been waiting for to meet the man himself. It'd be sick. That would be the ultimate one, Keith. And mate, I'll tidy the place up. Yeah, it stinks a bit. But Keith, I guess it's only rock and roll. Sorry, sire. Oh, and they I do think I had a point further on. Yeah, she just loved everything, my sister, that you did. She loved the idea of fucking, she was the one who advocated it to me more than anybody. Why the fuck should girls wear fucking, be indoctrined, Sam? I didn't want to wear this initially. I wanted to just wear what you wanted to wear because you thought it was cool. Either some shorts or some trousers. You know, not shorts which were like particularly made for a girl that they're more exposing than the boys. No, one which looks just as cool as the boys and it's just the same. She used to always wear pedal pushers. The one thing I did, there's two great things I did for her, in the sense of being there for her meant that it was like, yeah, you thought you could fuck with Anna. Oh shit, you didn't think Anna had a brother. Oh, he's a little brother, that's more scary, because you're like, I know how much I've bullied Anna. She talks to little brother, he's gonna look at me with hate. Like he's gonna kill you, like a psychopath. That's what I loved about this lad called Jordan, who the Thompsons took in, because he made Tamara feel great. I thought he was her younger brother. I was thinking, fuck, I was jealous as fuck of him. I tried to listen to Tamara more after that. She just rinsed me. I was like, condescending. It's such a Keith Richards situation to be in. You actually know the word and you go, what's condescending, mate? You know, there is, how do you spell condescending is what I said. How do you spell it? What? That's not a word. I said, it is. You're literally doing what I'm talking about as this word back to me. You're being condescending to me. All I asked was, what the fuck? How'd you spell it? Jesus. I thought, she's smart. I loved the fact she had a younger brother. Found out, no, it wasn't a younger brother of hers. He just really respected her and had a really great time making her feel good and flirting with her. She wasn't like the most popular girl in school. It was lovely. It was a great scene to have seen. He was brilliant. The guy was just a natural player. He came from really poor, humble beginnings, didn't have any siblings, and immediately everybody loved him, to the point where the boys from the older years loved him because of just how funny he was. Can't remember his second name, but he was Mint Jordan, the same guy I said with the tattoo, and fucking made sure this lady was basically kept as a lady in this group where it just looked like she was going off to be gang raped. And I was shitting myself. I was thinking of doing something, as in get battered by them to try and save her. And then I saw him, and he gave me a look as if to say, "Don't worry, mate, I've got this one under cover." Proper stared me out, and I was just like, "Sal," because he could see how worried I was immediately, and he knew me from before. But the next time I saw him, it was like we just bonded really well. Not brothers from another mother sort of thing. It was sick. That's the moral to the story. War, as Noel would say, morning glory. What's the story, morning glory? To the point where Kyle Powell, Noel, had a t-shirt. This was the other great thing Kyle Powell did. He had a t-shirt which just said morning glory. You know, as honest as that. I've got morning glory after the night before from the party, because all these different girls who I'd almost fucked have given me a massive boner. I've got morning glory. Hello, ladies. Brilliant. He was the closest we had to like Russell Brand. You know, the one who just went there, didn't have it easy, came from Sundawn, just had a massive charisma and personality, to the point of came from Sundawn, which was like the chavvy area, the hard estates area. He decided to move to Priory. You know, he had all these mates from Sundawn. It wasn't that he moved out of Sundawn because he was not popular. He had an older brother, Ryan. He was a very popular lad in Sundawn. He knew them all. He just decided to, I can't remember, for education reasons or something or other. He just decided to, mate. He just wanted to branch out, Kyle did. He just wanted to see different parts of Shrewsbury. And he thought, fuck it, I'll join Priory. And I'm going to go with a whole new fucking... All right, he came initially looking how he did. And then he thought, right, I'm going to come up with this fucking whole new look for myself. And he did. He just basically copied Russell Brand. Became very effeminate, long hair, cardigans, slippery shoes. Not these, you know, like those brown fucking... Sometimes they have tassels on them, they have like a little bit weaved here. Those kinds of ones, a little bit of a heel. Sometimes a slidey, sometimes they've got a grip. He was sick. Loved Carl Powell as well, because we all loved Russell Brand. So he was received well in Priory. He was mint. Some of his sense of humour was just cracking. I hated Candy Garbett. We all did. The worst thing I ever got told, and she was trying to do it to make me like her more, because she knew, for some reason, she did know that I was Sam Kramer. She did know the great things I did say, which just threw teachers. And the fact that they didn't like to make a big thing of disciplining me because of the fact it would go to my head. I was the opposite kid. They could discipline Dan in a very big lie. That wouldn't go to his head. That would make him feel bad. They did the same to me. For what I was, that would have just fueled my anger, because I knew I was in the right, and or believed that I was, and would have just made me sick. As in, I would have just fought it to the bone. Tone would have got involved. I was always seconds away from bringing in tone. That's why it was so annoying telling tone on, and I didn't think to use it, because I was literally seconds away from going into that as my next lifeline, and then they just whoosh. Apart from the one time which I just believed I could argue it myself, and I was that annoyed that Mr. Harding didn't believe me that I just had a chip on my shoulder about it. And I felt it was like almost like, you couldn't deal with your own battles, now you're having to bring tone in. That's how it always felt with bringing in a parent. I think it's bad advice, really. Just bring me in. Yeah, if it's a paedophile doing something serious like a teacher, then because that's like out of your hands. You know they're not right, absolutely. But if it's a case of you like standing up to a teacher, arguing against them, no, you should just teach them the right thing to fucking say. Absolutely. That just throws them even more, because they can tell he's got smart about it. He's got a dad who reinforces his own beliefs and believes in him. And Bucking, he's just nailed me with one of his dad's fucking points. And I'm hook, line and sinkers. I'm embarrassed. Then you bring it. There's always a moment with the banter. And you just feel it as a kid. You want to fucking cut them deep before you fucking go in for reinforcements. You want to leave a mark before you do that. You don't want to see them unscathed because they've got some backup involved or something. Mrs. Charles was just good at dealing with me. Everybody else, they thought, I'll leave it to Mrs. Charles. Mrs. Charles was just brilliant at disciplining me. She had a really hard job because I was not easy. Mrs. Charles will definitely back that for you. I was the worst, probably the worst, because of the fact that I wouldn't be the naughty kid. I found that immature, basically. I myself found it immature. It's like, that's not funny. Oh, great, yeah, you made a farting noise with your hand. I couldn't even do that one. Thought it was cool the one time Lewis Rock did it, because he just made it look shit, because he could just do it that many times. It was like a fucking machine gun. But apart from that one time, I found it really annoying. It was like, you're bastardising all the fucking work me and Keith did when we would be fucking arguing against teachers, basically, and John Robinson, where we actually had a point, we knew we were in the right, and we fucking were nailing them, and not one fucking student stood up for me. As in, I said, yeah, he's right, fuck you, miss. All I needed was just one person. They were that scared, the fact that I challenged this fucking teacher on my own and was getting sent out. They'd never fucking, they'd just send me outside Mr. Kitchener's office. That was the furthest they'd go, and they'd leave it at that. So I was humiliated for the day. Mr. Kitchener was never even in his office. Humiliated for the lesson. And they'd always leave it at that, because they think, if we start basically letting people know how disruptive this kid is, how annoyed he makes us feel, it's going to go to his head. He's going to run the fucking school by the fuck. And they were always aware of the fact that suddenly, because of a lot of older brothers were in the 5 years ahead of us, they were in year 11, we were in year 7. We first came into year 7, they were in year 11. It went like that. They left as we went into year 8. The next year 7s went in, year 10s turned into year 11 as it went. We were the worst year they'd had since that year. Possibly worse, because of the fact that we had loads of potential. That's what they hated about our year. Our year had loads of potential. Dave Beeston was the only one who went above and beyond the call of duty for his potential. And he did, to be fair. He was a chubby kid. He had a really bad figure, in the sense it was just obvious underneath his jumper immediately that he just looked like a pear. And he got the lead role in fucking West Side Story, David Beeston. Really, that deep down, that's what really pissed off Tom Hunt. And he was gonna carry on doing it, being the bad guy, but not. And then I left, so I just thought, I don't like this. I think it's shit. Even Mr. Brown, I could tell, didn't like it. As soon as I saw Mr. Brown was not happy, I thought, Mr. Brown was sick. Mr. Brown had that one great speech to me about Martin Keown, and it stayed with me, Mr. Brown. Just it threw me. I didn't expect him to suddenly start quoting football to me. I judged a book by its cover. I just thought, oh, he's just going to be into his music. He looks like somebody who's just into his metal music. He's just going to be into that. Fuck him. And he was into loads of shit, Mr. Brown. That's what he taught me. There was a great picture on his fucking profile picture. And he was doing a karate kick, like a Bruce Lee fucking jumping kick. That's where I learned how to do me jumping kick, from Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown was sick, mate. Ed Brown, he was mint. And he just said, you like Martin Keown, you do these really outrageous fucking fouls. It's just obvious to everybody. That's just a straight fucking yellow or red. And you get up and you're like, mate, what was wrong with that now? Come on, mate. And you really argue the point like you were in the right. It's unbelievable. He was the only one who ever admitted it, basically, to me. That he even went out of his way to basically credit me and say, I think you're that mint. You remind me of Martin Keown. I'm gonna look. You've done it for this long. I even find you funny now. Come outside a minute. I'll even let you have Matt Thompson next to you, so you can see how funny this is. This is how much I respect you, mate. Because like you don't pick on kids. You don't use these silly noises to fucking bully me. If you've got an issue with me, you fucking literally take it straight to me. You put it straight to me. You don't do it in an inverted fashion. That, well, no, you just take the bollockings, you go straight outside, you fucking challenged me every time, and you were shit at music. You're like my worst student. You were an idiot. Couldn't even do the Japanese fucking bit, which is apparently easy for everybody to learn. I couldn't get my head around it. I just used to listen to Big Brother Adam and think that's mint. What a fucking legend. As soon as I saw him not looking happy, like he'd just been dragged along on this project, I thought, I'm not coming back to this. This is shit. I hated it anyway. That just reconfirmed it. I didn't go in to even sing it. Why? Because like I said, West 5 fucking My Fair Lady, mate, all day long. It's about a paedophile who thinks that he's going to get one over on this My Fair Lady, groom her into being a fair lady, and the plot to the story is, yes, you might say, oh yeah, bloody, that's like a joke bit, it says something about the horse, and it's just in Cockney slang, Cockney tongue, basically, commoner's tongue, as they'd say, and everybody else is really posh at this fucking gat, especially in those days, sort of, that's what you're meant to think, really posh, and she's like, bloody get him. I can't remember which, it's a classic choice of words, and I'm fuck that. It's for a lady to say that one, for a lady to shout, bow, loud and proud. I'm not a lady, I'm a woman. I just get it wrong before I've even fucking attempted it. I think the movie's even got Audrey Hepburn in it. They say, oh yeah, Audrey, but Audrey Hepburn was mint. She was that beautiful. Somebody else sang the song for her because we just wanted to see Audrey as My Fair Lady. Now, don't put that down if you watch the Audrey Hepburn version. Oh, she didn't sing. No, she was fucking mint. It's like the same thing with Britney. You made Audrey Hepburn feel bad that she didn't want to use her voice in a singing way. Because she just felt shit about herself, like how Britney, you made her feel that shit about herself. She couldn't put pen to paper for years because you just shat on her, constantly hounded her, and drained her creative energy. Yeah, My Fair Lady, and basically the moral to the story is that when finally the penny drops and he has a tantrum about it for a bit, and there's a bit of out of favouriness, then he realised, fuck, she was a lady the whole time, and he was learning how to be a man to court her. It's brilliant. It's mint. I loved it. through and through from the get-go. Everything about that movie is brilliant. There's no weirdness. What about two gangs fighting each other and this love that happened between teenagers basically in fucking Puerto Rican gang. No Puerto Rican person, I guarantee you, after seeing West Side Story, thought, yeah, that really fucking describes and shows what Puerto Rican gangs were like in the 1950s. Great. He's bastardised an entire fucking culture of people so you can fucking go, only in America. I want to be in America. You don't have to sing about that. It's obvious that you want to be in America. That's why we go there a lot on holiday, us Britons, if we're lucky to. Bitch that bore me hated America. The truth is, I always believed we didn't have the money to go to America, so she always just came up with that as a fucking lie. Could have had the money to go. That's why she had a real chip on her shoulder. She could have had the money to go to America if she'd have not fucked over us, me and Anna, and took her and Tone to Belgium. Galley Speed, we would have gone to America, courtesy of Paul and Linda, if she had not done that. And she just fucked it for everybody, like how Mick does, you know what I mean? That same fuck up of a person. And not a person at all, they're just a fucking fuck up of a fucking paedophile, basically. A fucking liability. And to be wary of, to be noted, to be aware of. And if you've got families and young kids, children, basically, if you've got a family with children, avoid them. Avoid them and make sure you've got a guard staring at them, you know, to make them fucking scared. And to defend who you're protecting. Yeah, I say to make them scared, because I get angry and passionate before I sometimes make my final point. But the final bit to that was just to protect and defend the ones who you're there to protect. Because that's what a father's role is. That's why it's fucking, we are proud if we're lucky enough to be dads when we are. Fathers are the ones who look out for you when nobody else would. Give you support when nobody else would. Not that could, would. Just nobody else would give you support. That's where it was Keith. He is my father. I lost, I never really had that from Tone. Tone gave me so much. He loved me and he was a good guy, and Keith could see that through Tone, and I did love Tone. I learned to love Keith. So we knew he was a great geezer enough for me to, it was almost like that was him, Tone, packing my bags and sending me on my way. And he was proud as fuck and bemused, like, wow, basically, you've been adopted by Keith Richards. That's mint, is what he was trying to say. He just couldn't say it. And it's great. Why? Because you realise, fucking hell, I am just like Keith Richards. I am the spawn of him. I'm the spawn of Keith Richards. That's a great thing to say. Keith thought, right, what I'll do this time a bit differently, I will focus on the voice side of things, because I've noticed that is what people really fucking listen to. So I'll really focus on the jaws and the fucking, you know, but this time it'll be like a real devil. And I kept going on about Gary Alton and Ronnie Wood's vision of this is how, that was why I kept going on about it, because you don't want to toot your own horn. That was Keith's vision, basically. He just sat there. In the end, he stopped arguing back, like Captain Blackbeard, you know, just played his guitar, stopped arguing back and thought, you will fucking regret what you're doing right now. You will regret all of it. You will be very, very humble to me from now on. Once this happens, once you fucking meet my fucking son, you won't even have to meet him once, and you'll be shitting yourself from now on. Why? Because soon as I fucking feel like I've been abused, either a video will go up showing it, or fucking hell, I literally message him every day. So I'll just tell him, Mick's been a cunt like this. He's gonna be fucking vexed, because he's a little fucking Keith who believed exactly like Keith did, but he's very ardently passionately angry about what you did to Keith, and that you personally, Mick Jagger, personally how it felt as a result of you, just you alone. That's the reason why I never had the balls to love Keith as much as I do now. Thank you, Mick, for really just fucking everything up. You fucked up their own son's love for a father. You fucked up the son's love for a father. As bad as what they did to Britney with fucking up her own sons to love her fucking mummy. Exactly the same people, just in a different light. Mummy was really, really hot, so everybody turned Mummy into a whore. Daddy over here was a right ugly bastard, and he was hard, and he grafted, and he was from humble beginnings, so they just made out him to be a criminal, a rapist, everything under the sun. So these two people over here and here just feel estranged from each other when they loved each other. Well, Daddy Keith naturally loved you, Britney. Guaranteed even more than me. Loved you, Britney. He was gutted that you followed fucking Mick over him. It was like, Britney, what the fuck? That's why we've done Keith Richards for you, Britney, basically. We recognise you personally have been abused more than anybody, basically. More than anybody. You're the best singer-songwriter there is. You're going to make the best music there is. We believe in you too. And you just have basically been denied of pools of knowledge on music because they just wanted to make you fucking do a certain thing, put you in a certain mould and make you feel belittled that this isn't allowed for you because this is this type of music and this is you. And it's like, no. You're a fucking singer-songwriter. That music's for you personally to just listen away to. That's why we're taking you through the years. So, like in Superman, you know, like in Fortress of Solitude, when he's fucking like building back up, well, he's learning everything, which he never got taught. That's mine and my father's on Mummy's Day for you. That's our gift on Mummy's Day, basically, to let you know personally that's what all this is for, is to give you, more than anybody, a rich source of knowledge on all sorts of music that you've just got, you've got so much musical influence now that you'll just fucking nail it. And you're right, so like I said, all those songs I wrote, they're yours. That's all on legal binary now. They're yours. It's all been copyrighted onto YouTube. You own them. Everybody's seen that. Take what you want. They're all on Facebook. What were the ones I didn't mention? I'm sure there was another one which was Hard to Be Humble. I forgot to mention that's another one on my own. I got it off a geezer. I fucked up with a girl I loved. Saw her granddad for the first time. I was off my head on speed. It was funny because I fucking got Lou sorted me a can of Coke. Been up all night. I cycled to fucking Tesco to get some fucking Irish cream and shit. Drank some Irish cream. It made me fucking have a runny arsehole anyway. Terrible decision. And then I saw her granddad. I shat myself. It was terrible. Stupidly enough, must have just found a leaf on the way where I was away from everything and wiped my arse to sort myself out. I don't know, I can't remember. Ended up playing and busking, and this geezer just said it because he could just see the fucking crowd of people you were coming into town to entertain are completely let down by you. And he was my array of hope, basically, to say maybe they still are around listening to you somewhere, because I thought I'd fucked it through the roof. And he just gave me this one line, it's hard to be humble. I thought, that's mint. That's a great line, hard to be humble. That sounds like something out of Bob Dylan or something, hard to be humble. And off I went with it. I think it's a great song as well. Says the sire, he thought it was mint. He loved it. It's such a humble thing to talk about, being humble. It is hard to be humble sometimes, but look how hard it was for me. We went through a lot of pain before we got to this level of tranquility. But it was worth it, everybody. It was so fucking rock and roll. And under the Keith Richards Productions, we really rocked, babies. I know that's Austin Powers, but where the fuck else did fucking Austin Powers get that from, for fuck's sake?